Check this out. Champions disconnect from the outcome. Here's another thing. Here's the next thing. Anytime in my life, what's going on?
Don't worry.
Anytime I've noticed myself in a pattern of self-destruction or a pattern where I don't feel like I'm accomplishing at my max, here's what I've found. This is freaking good training, what I'm about to say. It's because I have connected too much to the outcome. Here's what you have to look at is when you look at LeBron James or Curry or Brady or any of these pro athletes.
Chris Evans.
It's not that they don't care about the outcome. That's not it. I think that they care about winning. They care about the scoreboard.
Oh, they care.
It's important. You want to be the best, right? But their identity isn't caught up in the outcome. They are completely absorbed in the process. And one of my favorite, I was an LSU fan back in the day when I was growing up. I still kind of am. But Nick Saban, who's the coach of Alabama now, because he's a traitor.
Unbelievable.
Nick Saban is one of the best college football coaches ever. And I love what he says to his players. He says, don't worry about winning the game. Don't worry about winning the championship. Don't worry about winning the half. Worry about winning the play. Because the team who wins the plays wins the halves, and the teams that win the halves win the game. The teams that win the game, they win the championship. And what was he doing? He's disconnecting his players from the big, massive growth outcome, and he's connecting them into the process. And so you have to be able to disconnect in these moments when life hits you in the mouth. You have to be able to disconnect from the outcome as an identity thing, and you got to focus on winning today. Like, what can you do to win this hour? We got dinner coming up in an hour. What can we do to win before we hit dinner? And this is something you'll notice in every single high performer ever, is they are focused and absorbed on the process. Right then, right there, the game takes care of itself.
Yeah, when you're focused on winning the championships and that's like the only thing that you see, it becomes overwhelming. And what we've seen is people, especially in the business space, the entrepreneurial space, they clam up. They lose clarity. They don't know how to get there. And it's like, no, what you do is like you win that play, right?
Yes.
You win that drive. Like you launch that Facebook ad. You get the first client. And that is the domino, like starting the domino effect of you actually winning the championship or getting to X amount of revenue or getting freedom, but you have to be able to pull back from that.
I'm going to tell you the biggest threat to high performance right now. Lean in. The biggest threat to high performance is burnout. It's actually burnout, because here's why. In a normal week, with normal work hours, I can achieve anything. I feel like I can go toe to toe with anybody. You're the same way.
Yeah.
But when we get tired and when we get fatigued and when we don't have boundaries and we don't have cycles and we don't cycle on and off, we tend to make everything a crisis. And one of the things we've learned is real powerful. We're talking about mindset, mental toughness, surviving, thriving. One of the biggest things we've learned is the power of cycles. Some people call it seasons. Mm-hmm. We don't just grind all the time. Legit, if we did, we would just die. We would just burn out. I think the biggest risk to you being a sustained high performer, maybe that's what the question should have been, what's the biggest threat to sustained high performance, is not protecting yourself and your drive, your mental drive. So we have a mentor, his name is Jay, and we had a one-on-one call with him, and we asked him this question. We were like, how do you protect your drive? How do you protect your mental will to win? And one of the things he told us is like, got to cycle. So you can't just go all the time. But the second thing is about focus. How many times have you gotten frustrated in a month because revenue is not where you want it to be? And then all of a sudden you start focusing on these things, you get caught up in like the big thing and then you're not focused on serving anymore.
Yeah.
And you're not focused on value and substance and making a difference. We've always found that when we hit these patches of burnout, if we can go into an activity and serve someone in our market, help someone have a better day, help someone we just, boom, come right back.
Marjorie says, how do you come back in the game when you're mentally tired?
It's a great question.
Great question.
Do you want to answer that?
Yeah, well, one thing that we've had to learn how to do is hack and manipulate those cycles. And so what we do now is we actually schedule time in our calendar that we force ourselves to withdraw and to shut down our normal day-to-day in the business. So that's a big one that we've done. It's like, There is this thing, and I love some of the guys out there who are just hustle, grind, but not everybody is made that way. Not everybody is built that way. And I'd say most of the time it's pretty dangerous for people to stay in that phase. Just hustle nonstop, because even though you're working 24/7 doesn't mean you're actually effective, right? And that's what we're about. We're about being effective.
Marco says, how do you reclaim confidence when you get hit with a big negative event?
Great
It's a
question.
very good question. Here's how you reclaim confidence. One, I mean, we already talked about it. You focus on service. But two, you focus on your reasons. Focus on your reasons. Why are you doing this in the first place? Read a really good quote the other day. He said, you're going to want to write this down because I've got it written down here. You don't need discipline. You don't need discipline to make your goals happen. You need reasons. You don't need more discipline. You need better reasons. What he means by that is like, if you are, let's say you're trying to wake up early and go to the gym, and you're like, discipline, I'm going to force this to happen. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to really get some good reasons. Hey man, you're going to die before your kids graduate college. Like, you want to be around. Do you want to be healthy? Blah, blah, blah. And you start this process of collecting reasons. Why do I want this? And for us, there have been so many opportunities for us to go backwards just because we're freaking tired.
Yeah.
Like, just beat in the face over, bad week, bad month. But it's like, at the end of the day, the reason we don't do that is because our reasons are freaking strong.
Yeah.
We have powerful reasons. It's not discipline that keeps us here. It's our why. It's real strong. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That is the fuel, for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
I think one thing to add to that too is look at and audit what you're doing. There could be a good possibility that you're doing things that just drain the life out of you. That could be working with a certain client. That could be what you're doing in your business. Like, there's things that absolutely give us life. Like hanging out with you guys and talking about this content just gives us life and gives us energy. But there's things in our business that suck the life out of us like a freaking vampire. So you have to be able to be aware of what that is and do your best not to do those things. When you're too focused on the outcome, how can you ignore it and focus more on processes?
Okay, you want me to tackle this?
Yeah, hit it.
All right, so everybody is obsessed with the outcome. They're obsessed with the outcome. Imagine we just got a new house, and imagine that all of a sudden the vents start blowing cold air in the winter. Stay with me. This is the analogy. It's the middle of the winter. It's 20 degrees outside, and the vents start blowing cold air. That's not good.
I'm pretty sure that happened when I was there.
No, it didn't. What most people do is they start taking the vent apart rather than backtracking to the system that's creating the outcome, which is the heater. Here's what most people do in their life. They don't have enough clients. They don't have enough money. They don't like the outcomes. And they become obsessed with the outcomes rather than looking at the system that's underlying the outcome. So every single output in your life comes from a system. Every single outcome in your life comes from an activity. So what you have to do is you have to stop taking the vent apart and you have to go to the root of the issue. So when you ask, how do you disconnect from the outcome and focus on, the outcome doesn't come from the outcome. The outcome comes from the activities that happen day to day that produce the outcome. Does that make sense?
Ooh, say that again.
So the outcome doesn't come from the outcome itself. It comes from the activities day to day that produce the outcome. So literally next time you get so obsessed with the outcome, picture your AC breaking and you're up in your roof ripping your walls out. When it's that's not the system. That's the conduit. So your bank account is a conduit.
Oh.
Your amount of clients at the end of the day.
You're talking dirty now.
Here's the deal. You got to focus on the freaking system. What are you doing that's producing that bad outcome? And then just become obsessed with it.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Having a mentor helps, obviously. Having a mentor helps. Having someone who's done it before helps. Just wanting to figure everything out by yourself is the epitome and extreme end of foolishness. I think that's pretty dumb, just for being honest. If you're trying to fix an outcome that someone around you has already fixed with the system, then go freaking hire them and work with them.
That's the secret to success. Hey, go ahead and smash that like button. Smash it.
Just go.
Smash it.